Would you like to support the Insiders? Pick up some merch now. Support us by getting a shirt, a hoodie. Support Abby's Window. Get a Shenanigans shirt. Whatever you'd like. Pick up some merch now. Insiders Pro Wrestling. The link is at the end of the video.
Good evening, everyone. I thought I'd start out with my Dracula slash the Count on Sesame Street voice. Welcome to Between the Ropes on a Sunday evening. I hope you are all doing well. I hope you had a wonderful weekend, whatever you decided to do. And we are here for, of course, our little Sunday show where we cover everything that went on of newsworthiness during this past week in professional wrestling. So we'll talk about a lot of things today, including, of course, our sell or no sell segment. We'll do our favorite moments. We might do some grievances, I'm sure. But welcome. Hope you had a great week. Hope you enjoyed any wrestling that you decided to watch. I'm in a bit better mood because the Cowboys played one of the worst teams in football today and just smashed them, kind of like Roman Reigns. But see, with them, that's just what they do. They beat really bad teams, and then when they come up against somebody good, they don't win. So as always, I am here with my awesome co-host Jeff. Jeff, what's going on, man? We got some. You know what I realized? You always have your mic on the thing. I never ever have shown my. Look at that. There it is. You know what it is? My desk is too damn low. My shelf is too low on my desk, and so I can't. I'm like, I kind of want to do that. It reminds me of like old time stuff, but I'd have to sit here and hold it the entire time, and I don't think I'd really be comfortable. So
see, that's why you got to get a. That's why you got to get a microphone arm. That's what I have.
You're right. You're right. So I can have mine.
Yep, that's it.
Oh, you have an arm on there? Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. Nice.
Yep. So,
well, anyway, I have a white microphone now, so now you all know that as the for things that nobody needs to know, but now. But yeah, man, another week with a lot of stuff going on in the world of professional wrestling, as there always seems to be.
Always something going on, which is a good thing. I mean, it gives us stuff to talk about, gives us stuff to watch and look for. So we'll be talking about a lot of that this evening.
I'm going to hit you with something off the cuff, and I want to start the show. I was thinking about this. I want to kind of start a little new tradition maybe on the show to open up. And I know I'm surprising Jeff with this too, but it's not really something that we can't. It's like it's an easy thing to do. But I think what I'm going to do is like just have you and I just kind of like what something cool maybe that happened to you, or something cool that you did? And I know you have a lot of moments you share with the kids and stuff
Mhm.
like that. So I think just it gets us started a little bit a happier thing. So I'm gonna say, what cool thing, or what kind of cool thing or happy thing happened to you, Jeff, this past week?
Oh man, well, anytime I get to spend time with my kids is
Yep.
good. And they're growing up so much and so fast, and you it's funny because you always see them as this little tiny little newborn, and
Mm,
as they grow older, they develop opinions and personalities and attitudes and all those things. But honestly, just the fact that my kids still want to snuggle, as they call it, and just watch stuff. And there was a couple times where we were kind of laying on the couch and watching some movies, and they both like just snuggled up next to me, and Kinsley fell asleep on me, and it was just those moments are special. So
they call them precious moments, my
yep,
friend, and they're very fleeting, and it goes very fast. And before you know it, it's a snap, and they're 19 years old and going to college, like mine.
yeah, yeah.
The only fleeting moment I got with her was she walked in my Best Buy store the other day, and she says to me, "Oh my gosh, you guys are selling Casetify cases now!" Like that was the big thing, and I'm like, "We are." So great stuff.
Yeah.
You guys in the chat share some cool stuff too. I like this because it gets us going on a positive note. For me, and I was talking to Jeff a little bit about it. I listen to a lot of podcasts, but I'm a big music fan. Always was, from a young person on up. My mom, got me listening to music and her record albums and stuff when I was growing up. My mom and dad always had a record player and a big album collection that I used to play. And I've been a fan ever since. My first job in retail, I worked in a record store. And so I love music. And when I discover something new, and this was what it used to be fun to me, like when I'd watch MTV and I'd hear something new that I never heard before, and then I'd run right out and I'd buy the cassette, I bought cassettes back in the day, or albums, as it were. I would find out that I really liked the band, and it was cool to do that. It's not something that it comes along very often. Things that really I don't know or hear because I listen to a lot of older stuff now. But I heard an artist. I listen to music called synthwave a lot, and it's a genre that's very similar to 80s. They use a lot of synth and a lot of drum machines and stuff like that. And there was one of the artists who collaborated with one of my favorite bands, who made or has a couple new songs out and is doing an album. And the song is just blew me away. I very seldom get blown away by songs anymore. That blew me away. Like it was so good. I put the track on in my car and I listened to it on repeat play for my entire drive home, half an hour, just over and over. And I just don't do that anymore. It was something I used to do when I was younger. I realized I have to start listening to more music because it does make me happier. The podcasts are cool and all, and I listen to information and stuff like that. And I gather information for this show, and I gather information for my other podcast that I do about my card game, which is cool. But I forgot how much that music is important to me, and it really does. When you hear something really fun and cool, it puts you in a really good mood. And I reached out to the artist on Twitter. She was available on Twitter, and actually said how much I liked it. And she retweeted the post and stuff like that. And then you guys know it's always cool when that happens. You guys are always saying when wrestlers retweet stuff, it's a cool thing. And this woman, turns out, she was nominated for Grammy Awards. And she knows, like, she's done work with Taylor Swift. I mean, she certainly didn't have to respond to me, and yet she did. So it was cool. It was just like a little cool thing that happened, and it just kind of reminded me, how you have to sometimes be happy, and the way you make yourself happy, you got to kind of go back to the things that you did sometimes before, that you get caught up in things, you get caught up in a routine, and when you break that a little bit, and you remember some of the things that put you in a better mood, and then you go and do that. So that's mine. That's mine. Something little,
Awesome.
yeah, something that I figure, we could start off the show doing that a little bit, gets
Yeah.
everybody in a positive mood. All right, let me welcome some people in. We'll get down to business here. We've got A. Jobson, Clown is here. James is here. What's up, James? Derek is here. Happy Sunday. We got Dylan and we got Jason Peace. Hello, Jason Peace. Early Monday. Yeah. Yeah. Happy Monday. Brandon, Ryan, Deanna is here. Hey, Deanna. Anthony Slate, of course, a member of our channel since we started membership. Thank you, Anthony. Always cool to have our members on, and really, really, really appreciate you that you are a member. Derek, we lost to one of the worst teams in football. My goodness, yeah, football is so weird. We've got Brandon is here. Dylan is here. I think I said before. We've got Barry Monkey from Twitch. Hello. Brandon Wayne Lewis is here. Hassan is here. We are doing a go home. Tino is doing a go home show, special full gear on AEW Dynamite on Wednesday. Nice, nice. John Kessler is here. Hey, John. My family celebrated my mom's 80th birthday today. Well, that's certainly a positive event and a very, very happy birthday to her. My brother came in among other family members. It was good to see family. I don't get to very often. Yeah, definitely a good positive thing. Mark's here. What's up, Mark? My heart is broken. I found out that another one of my spina bifida friends has suddenly passed away. Well, that's terrible. Obviously, our thoughts and prayers are for you and for him and his family as well. So yeah, that's terrible news. And you know, it's not easy no matter who you lose in this world, whether it be a family member, a friend, or whoever. It hurts. So yeah, we certainly will keep you in our thoughts, Mark. Hope you can get a little bit of respite spending some time here with us. Greg is here. What's up, Greg? Did I miss anyone? I think I got Brandon Wayne Lewis is here as well. I think I got y'all. So, all right. Schedule coming up. We have today's Sunday, or geez, tomorrow, Monday. Abode tomorrow. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Abby's Abode is tomorrow. And if you've been following along or if you've been going out to watch, tomorrow is the finale of the big horror slasher bracket. You have Saw in one corner and Michael Myers from 1978 in the other corner, duking it out to see who wins. And whoever does win, we will be doing a kind of a late Halloween thing, but we'll be doing a horror watch along for whichever one of those movies wins. Kind of cool because I think they're both readily available and people can watch along with us on streaming. And some of them are on Peacock. If Halloween wins, I think they're all on there. So yeah, so come check that out. They talk about that kind of stuff. They talk about, of course, the supernatural things in wrestling as well, and more. So make sure you join Jeff and Jody for that. That is at, of course, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then we have Impact Wrestling, which is a pay-per-view quality show, which is a segue. We'll talk about that more. But it is, if you go look in the matches that are this week, it is literally a pay-per-view. So it's a can't miss show. And so make sure you come out and join us for Impact on Thursday at 7:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We have a pay-per-view coming up for them very, very soon. It's in, what is it? Today is the 12th. We've got, like 3 weeks.
Yep.
It's on December the 2nd. So that's a Saturday. So keep that in mind. We will be doing that as well coming up. We also have Survivor Series coming up too. I'm not sure the date of that. I don't know. I don't know what the date of Survivor Series is. Is it November or December?
November. I'll look it up. I think it's. Hold on. Let me see.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah. Jets playing the Raiders. Yeah, boo. That's going to be a pretty crap game, probably. Although I have Devontae Adams on my fantasy team, who's done absolutely nothing for me. So yes.
25th, Joe. Saturday the 25th.
So Saturday, November 25th, we will be doing Survivor Series. So make sure you mark that date as well. And that is going to be very interesting after we go over what the breaking news is. But yeah, welcome everybody. That's our schedule for the week. Hope that you come out. Always please remember, if you enjoy our content and you're new, or if you just haven't done so yet, please hit the subscribe and also hit that like button on the stream. Greatly helps us with the algorithm thingies. And make sure you hit the notification bell if you want to be reminded about when we have the future content, so you get that little pop-up and it tells you, hey, the insiders are on. We do some impromptu things here and there. I've done that already. If something big happens and we want to go live, so that's how you know if that kind of stuff is happening. Devontae's making plays. Well, thank God. He hasn't done squat for me this entire year. Kiss. Oh yes, Brandon. Thank you for reminding me. Yeah, I get to watch my favorite band for one final time on pay-per-view. It's gonna be sad. I don't know how I'm gonna react to that. It's really, really going to be, that's going to be hard to watch, I think, for me, because I'm glad they're showing it because I knew I couldn't go. The ticket prices were outrageous, and I knew I couldn't go because of the date. But yeah, I'm definitely gonna watch, and it's a Saturday, and I'm. Oh, is that Oh, wait, is that the date of the pay-per-view? Oh, it is. Is that the date? No, it's not. Is it? No, I don't think it's a Sunday or a Saturday. Is it? Hold on. Let me look. I don't think it is because I think I looked at that once before. Um, final show pay-per-view. I don't think it's the same day. I didn't think that was on a Saturday. Um, let me see. I mean, it's not a big deal. Oh, yeah, it is. Oh well, I can watch it after. It's no big deal. It's not like I can't watch it again. You when you purchase that, you can watch it anytime. So yeah, it'll be just as well because I won't be in a mood to do wrestling after that. Probably it's gonna be a little
Yeah.
sad to see them go. So yeah, but yeah, that's I'm just glad they're showing it because I knew I wouldn't go. Isn't Impact IPWF next Saturday? Yeah, that's the live one. We won't see that though until the following week on Thursday. They're going to show matches from that. The live show isn't shown. They do that for the fans, and then we'll see matches from that on the following Thursday show. Thanks. I came here to stay positive. Forget about that part of the moment. Sunday's AEW. Yep, we'll talk about that full gear as well. All right, let's get into it. We got Jeff. Some breaking news.
Yeah, we got some breaking news. So I'll give us a little whirl there.
There it is. We've got some breaking news, or as the what was the bird's name on the Muppet Show? We've got some breaking news. The guy that wore the glasses with the long. I can't remember. There you go. There you go. Nice. Nice. Yeah, so a couple little things. One, and they kind of go hand in hand. This was reported by by Sean Ross Saps. Was the Insider, right? PW, no, or is that Fight? Who is it? Fightful. Yes.
Yeah,
Fightful.
Fightful.
Yeah, thank you. I'm thinking of PW. Fightful. Yes. Reported that. So apparently, and if you don't want to be spoiled, cover your ears. I'm going to warn you, Sam the Eagle. Thank you. Cover your eardrums if you don't want to be spoiled for Survivor Series, because this is kind of a spoiler. But it has been said that Drew McIntyre will join we don't know if he joins, but he will wrestle with the Judgment Day at Survivor Series. And it has been said that on the opposite team, it will be Randy Orton. So Randy Orton, who has been rumored to be coming back, will join the other team going up against the Judgment Day. So Randy's first match back will be Survivor Series, and it will be in that big main event that night. So also, and to segue into a second thing was, there were rumors around there that were kind of quelled, squashed by them also, because they were saying that Randy was going to win a major title, but that apparently is not the case. That was a rumor, I guess, that was floating around there, but apparently that is not in the cards, or was not talked about. So yeah, very interesting. It adds a big thing to Survivor Series. I'm sure Randy will probably appear on a Raw at some point before then. I don't think they'll just have him show up. They've never really done that at a Survivor Series, where they said, "Oh, we're going to have one surprise member that I can remember." So Randy coming back is big. And it'll be great to see him back in a ring. And he's got a big vendetta against the Bloodline, remember? So it should be interesting, Jeff, to see to see Randy Orton back. And it looks like we're going to get a banger of a match there at Survivor Series.
Yeah, I think it'll be great. I'm looking forward to it. I always like Survivor Series. It's different. I like it. You get the team, so I like that. And I mean, good. I'm glad that Randy can come back, and I think us as fans, we need to appreciate these men and women while they're wrestling, because it's not a forever thing, and we have to keep that in mind. I gotta add another bit of breaking news because there was an
Sure.
announcement
Yep.
on AEW that oddly enough should have been announced before the announcement, as an announcement to come, because this is a pretty big deal. So AEW, Tony Khan announced last night that they're going to be uh, they're going to have a new round robin tournament, the Continental Classic. It's going
Oh.
to be 12 wrestlers, two groups, divided into two groups, so 6 per group. And Brian Danielson is going to be involved in that. So,
Hmm.
um, yeah, that's going to be very exciting. I'm guessing is their take on the G1. But yeah, I think it's going to be great, and supposedly it's going to be 12 of the best of the best. So I'm really
Nice.
looking forward to what they do with this.
Okay. Okay. There you go. Very cool.
Yeah,
I didn't get to
that's
really watch. I didn't get to watch either one of their shows. In fact, I didn't get to watch much wrestling. My schedule now in work is getting weird and longer because, of course, it's getting closer to Christmas, and I didn't really get to watch much. I watched Raw and SmackDown, and of course, Impact that we did. I did not get to watch any of AEW stuff or NXT this week. I couldn't watch either one of them. I just didn't have the time. So yeah, that's cool. Very very cool. Had a surprise member for 2019 War Games, says Alexa Bliss Gamer 0809. Hello, by the way. James Grant, I hear voices in my yes. You should be. The tournament should have been the big announcement, not the tickets for All Out. What did they win? What did who win, Brandon? What did who win? I fell asleep before wrestling last night.
what do they win?
Yeah,
I don't know if it's going to be some type of cup. It may be some type of cup or something. I'm not sure, Brandon. I didn't.
gotcha.
I just saw that part of it. I didn't. I had to turn away because I had the kids, so had to shift focus.
We have some big things coming up in our segment too that we're going to next about some wrestlers switching places and all that kind of stuff and all that. So we'll get to that too. All right, but that's yeah, that was pretty much the couple breaking things. Unless you had something else, Jeff.
No, that's it. That's it.
Okay, cool. Cool. All right. Well, we're moving on to our headlines of the week. This one was big and quite unexpected, I think. And, I don't think that when you talked about where NXT might go and where Raw might go, I don't think any Raw didn't yet. But, I don't think anybody really would have mentioned the CW as an option. There were so many things kicked around, Amazon, even Disney, ESPN, even that were kicked around, and and then all of a sudden you heard the thing with NWA was going here. Well, yeah, that may not
Mm.
happen at all now, unless they are just going to have them on their app. Which I guess they could. I don't know if that would cause any sort of conflict with also having WWE stuff, but I don't know. But either way, NXT has a new home, folks. Like it or not, they are going to be on the CW. I don't know, like the CW. Um, I get it on local channels. I literally can get that on an antenna if I hook it to my TV without having any service whatsoever. I pull that in. It's a local affiliate network that I could pick up, but I don't know how that is distributed. I know it's a big, it's a top 20 network. I watched them mostly for the superhero stuff, the Arrow, the Flash, all of those. But then they cut a lot of that content. And the funny thing was, it was kind of maybe this last year, the year before, that when the Flash finished, and there's really none of that left on there except for Superman and Lois. They were kind of saying, well, we're going toward new, more adult content. Nobody really kind of knew what that meant, and they're like, well, what do you mean by adult? What are you going to start showing, like court dramas throughout the whole course of the day, or what do you? So I don't know, maybe the wrestling thing was what they meant. Maybe they meant that was the more adult content. I don't know. But either way, they are with the CW now and gone from USA Network. So for the first time in a long time, no NXT on USA anymore. And Jeff, I don't know. SmackDown obviously has moved to USA. But it just looks like it's really rotating around. And now you wonder, well, geez, where's Raw going to end up in the future? But I don't know. Good change, bad change. Do you guys think this is good? Do you think this is bad? I don't know that it means a whole lot. I'm sure the time's not going to be any different. It's probably going to be on the same day. But I guess my big concern or concern would be, is everybody going to be able to see it? Whether that be people that are fans overseas or things like that. I don't know what you guys get over there. So that would be my really only concern. Other than that, we all knew they were changing. So it's not really, that big of a surprise. But Jeff, what do you make of this? What did you think about this change? I was just a little caught off guard because I really didn't expect the CW's name in the hat.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is a great thing for NXT, and honestly, for me, even though it's still under the umbrella of WWE, it makes it feel big. It makes it feel like it's its own thing. So I really like this. I think it's going to bring in some new viewers, which could benefit the main roster shows, quote unquote. So I do think this is a really good move. I saw the numbers; it's pretty hefty numbers for NXT there. But yeah, I'm really excited about it, and I think that it'll be a huge benefit because I do think that the CW is very accessible for many viewers. Unlike, I mean, one of the challenges that Impact faces, TNA, is the accessibility of access. I mean, I know it's in a lot of homes, but people don't even know to ask for it because they really don't know that they have it. So, but I think this is good. I really do think it's good.
Good. Yeah. Raw, I can see going to Fox. I don't know, James. I don't know that you can never count anything out. It just doesn't seem. And Deanna said, "I think Fox is done with WWE." I kind of maybe agree there. I'm on the side of that. I kind of think I agree. Fox, I don't know. I just, to me, I don't think Raw is going to be a funny one because it's going to have to be, and I can't see Fox doing this. And see, this is why I don't think this will happen. Fox would have to devote 3 hours of Monday TV to WWE. I don't know that they can do that or want to do that. Fox has a lot of stuff going on that network. Also, remember, Fox is a national news station. They put on news every Monday at 10 o'clock. So that's going to be local news in most places, but it is Fox News. I don't know that they can go with Raw going to 11. I really don't think they can. They're gonna probably want it on the same day. I don't think they're gonna move it. So I really don't think that Fox is gonna get it or want it because I don't think they want. The 2 hours was good for them because they can go 8 to 10 and then the news comes on. And that's okay. Mm-hmm. They're not going to go 3 hours with it though on Monday unless WWE negotiates something where they change Raw to a 2-hour show, which a lot of people used to clamor for, and maybe it wouldn't be that horrible of an idea. But I don't know. I just don't know. I don't think Fox is going to be the one that's going to get it. So we'll see. But anyway, TV dealings going on, and I'm sure there will probably be, hello, Andrea, and John Kessler and whoever else came in. There will probably be an announcement, I would imagine, sooner than later about where Raw is going to head to as well. So changes. What's next, Jeff?
Thinking there's some thunder going on, which is weird, by the way.
Yeah, thunder outside.
Okay, so here we.
Damn.
Yeah, it sounds like I don't know, but yeah, we got a wild 6-woman tag match on SmackDown.
Yeah, this was kind of crazy, right? I did watch this because I was curious as to what Kairi Sane was going to do and things like that. So I was intently watching this. I had to watch it back. I couldn't watch it live because of my schedule when I got home, but. You saw everything kind of look normal, right? The heels, quote unquote, came out. Kyrie and Io and Bailey and Dakota all come out to the ring, and you're thinking, okay, number one, I really believe that something is going to disintegrate between Kyrie and Bailey. I'm sorry, she can say I forgive you all she wants, and that's not going to fly. There is going to be a point where she turns on Bailey, and that's I. It'll be a little bit probably, and it could even brew into Mania or next year in the Rumble, whatever. But there's going to be a point where she's going to get revenge on Bailey because they showed that on the screen when Bailey was in. Man, did Bailey look comfortable when they did too, or uncomfortable rather when they did it.
Oh
But
yeah.
she took a beat down from her, and that's not going to go unpunished. So something is going to happen there. And then the faces came down, right? So Bianca comes out first, Charlotte Flair comes out, and then Asuka comes out. And she's doing this little interaction with Kairi Sane and everything like that. And okay, it looks like, and then you get the big turn, right? Asuka turns, joins them, joins Kairi Sane, and then everything just went haywire. Charlotte and Bianca got beat down, and it just went crazy. I wasn't necessarily that surprised by this. Asuka has been a heel on her recent run. She just was made into kind of a face for a little bit, but even then, you can't really trust Asuka, and Asuka was a heel anyway, so I wasn't super shocked by this. And I don't think that this is going to last long because I think ultimately what happens is I think, like I was saying earlier about Kairi Sane and Bailey, I think Asuka is going to kind of get herself involved in that a little bit. And I think her and Kairi may team back up and turn on the three of them at some point soon. So could even be at Survivor Series if we get a big women's one, and I'm sure we probably will. But either way, Jeff, very interesting, the twists and turns of all of this. And you know what, Jeff, I love the most about it? It was the main event of the show.
Yep.
Main event of the show. Women's match was the main event of the show. I almost can't stand saying that because I wish that they would understand that they could do that way more often. But unfortunately, on SmackDown, it's mostly always kept for anything with Roman. Which I
Yep.
get it. It's their biggest story, and I get they would do that. But it was kind of refreshing to see the women of SmackDown being highlighted as the main event of the show. They did a great job. This was going on for the last half an hour of the program, and
Yep.
the big turnaround from Asuka and stuff like that. But it was great. I just don't think I don't think it lasts very long though, Jeff.
Yeah, I don't think everyone's going to be able to play nice for very long. And
Yep.
if you saw some of the digital clips after they or may I don't know if it was on the show, but I definitely saw it on online on social media. But there was a clip where they were being interviewed, Damage Control, and the question was asked basically to Bailey, but Dakota Kai answered the question, and everyone just kind of looked around. It was kind of weird, but yeah, I don't think it's gonna last long, but it's really cool to see. I mean, we remember the Kabuki Warriors, right?
Yep. Yep.
Asuka and Kairi Sane. Um, so it's good to see them back. I know James Grant is a big fan, so I know he's happy about that. But yeah, this was really cool. But it's good, like you said, to see something else because sometimes, and I get it. If it's not broken, don't fix it. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. So the bloodline stuff was getting you huge numbers, and I get that. But that's also an opportunity to elevate others.
Right.
And I really, really like what they did here, because it makes the story feel bigger. It makes it more impactful. It gives it a little more meaning. So I'm invested. I'm ready to see what they do and where they do this. It could be Survivor Series, but yeah, I don't think we're gonna have a lot of happy kumbaya moments going forward.
I think that team, whoever else joins them, is going to implode. that team will
Yep.
implode. And I think Bailey is going to be the odd woman out there, unfortunately. Either they're all going to stay heels and they're just going to blow up Bailey, which could very well be, and then Bailey's just left out in the cold.
Yep.
But that match is going to be very, very interesting to watch. This is why Survivor Series is fun to watch too, because the storylines will kind of they don't end storylines at Survivor Series, they branch them. So what I mean by that is they create new ones. So stuff that you're going to see maybe into next year get created in these big matchups. So that's what you want to watch here, is to see where they're going to go and to see how it's going to happen going forward. So whichever, it's going to be fun as well. I'm sure this is going to end up being called a War Games match by Nick Aldis at some point on SmackDown when it gets out of hand, maybe next week or the week after. But I'm sure that's what we're going to get. We're going to get to hear Adam Pearce did an okay job. He did an okay job going War Games. He did an okay job. Now we got to hear it from Nick. Now we got to hear it from Nick. Do it. I think Nick might have the advantage, Jeff, because he's got the English accent. So he might have a little bit. He might have a little bit of an advantage.
I was gonna say, he might have a little bit. I mean, let's be honest though. At some point, we want to hear William Regal say it again, right?
Oh, I know. Yeah, I was kind of hoping, because he's back there. I was kind of hoping they'd just bring him back to do that. But yeah, I'm not really sure what's going on.
I don't think he can yet because of the
contract situation.
Yeah, I think.
Point.
Yeah, I don't think.
Good point. He probably can't come out until a certain time, but hopefully we'll have him back next year doing it. Of course, that's the iconic part of that. But either way, it's going to be good. It's kind of a mess, and messes in wrestling are always good. So,
well, speaking of that mess, let's go to the next mess.
Yeah. So, it's funny. I remember when Logan Paul won the title and got the brass knucks and stuff like that. And I remember Santos being down there early, but I never really saw him put those there. I don't know if I just didn't notice it. I may have just been not paying attention. But apparently that's what Carlito came down, right? And Ray was in the ring kind of lamenting his loss with everybody. And then all of a sudden Carlito comes storming out saying, he shouldn't be in there with you. He shouldn't be in there, meaning Santos. And then they're all kind of stunned. And he said, you need to realize who put those brass knucks there. And I'm like, did he really do that? And did I seriously miss that thing? And if you go back and you watch it, he did. So he did put. Now he's gonna argue his point and saying he put them there for Ray, which we all know Ray would never do. He's not that kind of a wrestler. He doesn't cheat to win. But this is interesting. Obviously this is gonna lead to something with Carlito and Santos, I'm sure at first. But then I imagine it's going to be, this whole thing just blows up. And we've seen this in wrestling before. Mentor versus the student, right? It always kind of happens. And in Ray's, what Ray is doing here now, he's going to try to put some people over. So I wouldn't doubt that the loss to Logan Paul was his way of doing that with Logan Paul. And now, he may elevate Santos Escobar a little bit by having a match with him and having Santos kind of go over on him in that match as well. But yeah, it was really interesting. And like I said, sometimes they just get you and you're just not looking for that. You're not paying attention. And I definitely did not see it. I know they were there, but I did not see him put them there. So good on them for kind of doing that, and to sneak in that little storyline in there now that we've got with the LWO. So is it the explosion of the LWO, or are they done? I don't know. This stuff isn't good for factions like that, Jeff.
Well, I will say A. Jobson just brought it up, but Santos Escobar as a heel is amazing. So
he was in NXT.
We're gonna have a lot of fun with that. I don't think we're gonna see the end of the LWO. James Grant has a great comment, funny comment.
What if Santos gets two guys?
What if Santos gets two guys to follow him, making the LWO Wolf?
Could you imagine if they were like all red? If they changed the LWO to red LWO, oh, that would be funny. That would really be funny. And they
Yeah,
have the red wolf thing. Oh
it'll be
god,
hilarious.
that'd be great. That would be great.
So yeah, I don't think it's gonna completely end. I do think they'll continue with the LWO, but we might get a little bit of a fracture there, but I don't think the complete implosion of the group. I think we'll still have them around.
Yeah, yeah. It's. I would think that this is probably going to be Ray's last home or hurrah. I don't know how long he's going to stick around wrestling and stuff like that. I mean, he's already in the Hall of Fame, so for him, it's pretty much just up to however he wants to however long he wants to be around, and who he wants to have his matches with and stuff like that. He probably can do a lot of dictating with that. But I would imagine this next thing is to kind of get Santos in the limelight a little bit. And get him over again as a heel. He was better as a heel. He really was. He was a good heel. He was a heel in NXT as well. So yeah, it's going to be fun to see. Again, another storyline that they're kind of. It's funny. They're starting storylines now that they're going to push into next year, and it's going to run through Survivor Series. So a lot of this stuff is going to go into. We might see the culmination of this, Jeff, at Mania. You might see Ray and Santos at WrestleMania next year. Could very
Yeah.
well. Or it could be at the Rumble, but you start thinking about it. We're not that far away. We're already almost in December, guys, and 3 months from then, January, February, March, April, 4 months, it's already Mania time. So they're going to start doing this kind of thing. But yeah, I'm all for it. Santos was a very good heel, as people in the chat have pointed out, and it should be good to see. I also like the fact that they're using Carlito a lot. I didn't know whether Carlito would still be around week to week, but it does seem like he's going to stick around for a while, so that's cool. It's cool. It's cool. All right, man. What do we? I think we got a little. I think we got a little AEW stuff next.
Yeah, so we saw Samoa Joe going up against Keith Lee, and Samoa Joe was victorious. The surprise, though, is that after the match, Samoa Joe vacated his title. He wants to go after the AEW World title, meaning he wants to go after MJF. So, yeah, some interesting plot developments.
Yeah, it was interesting. Well, first of all, it was two meaty men slapping meat in that match. Keith Lee and Samoa Joe. That was
a big E special right there.
Yeah, it was. I saw parts of it, and it was about as good as you could have imagined it would be. Just two big, huge men going at it. And but the thing that struck me the most about this was how people reacted to him vacating that title. That didn't sit well with a lot of people, saying they made it look like it was worth nothing. That he just went, nah, I don't want this anymore. This is this kind of the people that I read, and of course, it's mostly the X people or Twitter people that were complaining. But the people that I read were saying that wow, you just devalued a major title that has been around forever by just kind of like spitting on it and being like, I don't want this stupid thing. I want the real title. So there were a lot of people complaining about this. And the fact that he won. I mean, listen, knowing that he wanted to go after MJF, that's no surprise. We all knew. We saw that, and we saw that a couple of months back when he was kind of aiming for MJF and stuff like that. It kind of seemed like this thing that MJF has going on now with Switchblade Jay White kind of was maybe a little bit of a filler in between, and then you're going to get this as the big next main event between Samoa Joe and MJF, which should be a real banger as well. But yeah, I was mostly surprised to see how many people really disliked this. And I guess maybe they were just a lot of them were maybe ROH fans and thought, hey, this is a respectable title. Why is he just saying, oh, well, I'm putting this to the side. I'm giving this up. I don't want this. So Yeah, so that was what I saw about it that I found weird. The matchup though, and stuff like that, I absolutely want to see it. I'm sure that MJF will retain his title against Jay White, and then move on to this, which it's going to be a great program. We all know what kind of an athlete Samoa Joe is, the promos this man can cut, and I will be very entertained by the promos being cut by Samoa Joe and MJF. So that should be a great feud to move on to. But yeah, what were your thoughts on the whole thing, Jeff? What did you think of the did you share anybody's thoughts on that on the way he gave that title up?
I mean, I guess I know a lot of people have said, well, they wish that Keith Lee would be a little more prominently presented in singles competition, and I understand it. But you also have to think of who Samoa Joe is and what he's about too. Um, he's always chasing that the big dream, the big goal at the end of the whole thing. So yeah, I think he used this opportunity, if you're looking at it, to say, okay, I've done what I can do. I'm done playing with you guys in the sandbox. Now it's time for me to take old MJF down a peg or two. Um, I think that's the way I see it. Now I can certainly understand people's frustrations with it. I can, but I think ultimately this is more about the character Samoa Joe and what his motivations and goals are, as opposed to disrespecting the title. Now I will say I know I see a lot of the criticism with people saying, he Tony Khan hasn't really done much with Ring of Honor, and
Hmm.
I get it. I get it. I do. But I will say that he's got an opportunity now. Hopefully he hears the criticism, um and uses it in a productive way, in constructive way.
Yeah, yeah. Joe is going to kill MJF. I wouldn't be too sure of that. I think he'll beat him up, no doubt, but I think that MJF is going to have the title for a good long time. In fact, it more than likely will be until Adam Cole decides that he maybe might want it, because he's probably the right up there along with MJF up the popularity ladder. So I would imagine that. And that I see people in chat talking about the whole devil thing. We can have an hour discussion about who we think the devil is. I can tell you this. It is not. And please, please, please don't fall for this stupid hype. It is not CM Punk. It is not. It is not. It is not. CM Punk was publicly fired. Publicly, right? There were, I mean, my goodness, there. I think there was even paperwork shown on somewhere on Twitter or something. He was fired, guys. And please don't get yourself to the point where you're thinking something that really happened is a storyline. They would not. That would be completely and utterly tasteless to do that and be a work. There is no way that is true. There is no way that CM Punk is going to be the devil. So please, 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 for me, stop believing it. If you do, stop believing it. I know there are people that are out there that are just so big CM Punk fans, and they really just want that whole thing to have not happened, and they want him back there. He is not the devil, so please just stop. Just stop, because that's just nonsense. And so anybody out there that believes that, I really feel sorry for you, because I just well, there's all those conspiracy theory people out there that it probably would be the people that would believe something like that. But yeah, I my guess would be Adam Cole. It would make a lot of sense that my guess would be Adam Cole, especially for the time he decides he's ready to come back. So especially now that they made MJF into a face character, where Adam Cole plays the villain so well. We've seen that. So yeah, that would make sense to me that would be the case, especially when we know that that's going to be a big event at some point down the road. So Jeff, who do you think the devil is? Somebody said Vince Russo. Tony
Yeah.
Tony said Vince Russo.
I'm gonna say this. Derek sent me a video the other day of someone giving their theory of Britt Baker, which is very interesting, and it made me think a lot. I will say.
Well, the only way I could see that would make sense is because of her relationship to Cole. So yes, maybe that would make sense in that respect. Like while Adam is out hurt, she's doing this, knowing her relationship with her husband. So that would okay, all right. There's logic to that. I could see that she's trying to get into his head and stuff like that while her husband is recuperating and kind of soften him up a little bit and everything. I could see that. I could see that. Okay, not completely out of left field. That's interesting. That's
Yeah,
interesting to me.
Derek said he'll send it to you.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. I can see that. Very, very interesting. I can see that. All right. Up next, what do we got?
So we have an apparent exit from AEW. Yeah.
Come on over. Come on over to TNA. And there's already rumors that Butcher and the Blade are going to be signed by TNA. They're already out there. I saw them online today. So we come on over, man. I love all three of them. Bunny, the thing with her, I know. Apparently she wants to do OnlyFans, and yeah, it's kind of a situation, kind of like. Oh my gosh, what was her name? The girl from NXT.
Mandy Rose.
It's Mandy Rose. Yeah, I think it's kind of a situation similar to that where WWE parted ways with her because they didn't want her doing the stuff she was doing on those content sites. And apparently the bunny was in a similar, rumored to be. There's a similar situation there. I don't know if that's true or not, or if that was confirmed. Listen, I don't begrudge anybody doing it. Look, Mandy Rose is making more money doing that kind of stuff than she was as a WWE wrestler. So good for her. Good for her. If that's the kind of career you choose, hey, who am I to judge anybody? If you're going to make yourself a ton of money, and so from what I heard, she's making like millions, like she's a millionaire. I've heard. So good on her. And you know what? If the bunny does that too, and if that's what she wants to do, yeah, who cares? You don't. Some of these wrestlers don't get paid a ton, guys. They don't get paid a ton. The big stars that are doing a lot of the merch sales and all that kind of stuff, they're the ones that get the big bucks. Other than that, these other guys have to go out and find things for themselves to do. They got to go to indies. They got to go to other things and find other ways to make money. They go to these signing events that they have, conventions and stuff like that, selling their merch. And that's how they make money. So if she's going to make some money doing that, whatever. I have I don't have anything about that at all. So I would like to see her back because of her relationship with Rosemary. Because the two of them are really, really close. Rosemary, I used to watch her Twitch stuff years ago, a couple of years ago, like 2-3 years ago. I used to watch her Twitch stuff, and she'd do video games and stuff. But she would do. She has a shop with Bunny. It's called Bunny and oh God, what is it? Demon Bunny. Demon Bunny, it's called. I ordered an autograph actually from Rosemary off of there, and so they have that together. So they used to do little vignettes when Rosemary was doing her little vignettes and stuff like that. Bunny was involved with those. So I would absolutely love to see her coming back to TNA as well. I think all three would be great additions. Bunny has obviously, like I said, has connections there, and Rosemary's there. And listen, a lot of people are kind of saying they want Rosemary to return. Well, what better way than to return at TNA with Bunny there, and then have Butcher and the Blade there? That could even be, Jeff. You can even do a little something supernatural with this group. If they want to kind of go ahead.
I was just going to say, if you wanted to have Allie go back and do stuff with Rosemary, could you imagine the Butcher and the Blade with Crazy Steve?
Oh. Yep. Yeah, you could almost be forming like a new version of Decay
Mm-hmm.
with like the 5 of them in a faction. Yeah, dude, sign me up for that. I'd be all good on that. So that's, yeah, we'll see. I'm hoping that's the case, and I'm hoping that they end up back in TNA. I think that it would be very, very good additions, all 3, for them. Yeah, people were saying about Bunny, how she doesn't have her Twitter anymore. I don't blame any wrestler at all for getting off of that mess. Especially when something like this happens where their contract expires, or they're no longer with the company. They don't want to get bombarded by both fans and people who are just gonna berate them. So I don't blame her one bit for getting off there. It can be an absolute cesspool, especially when stuff like that happens. So I don't blame her one bit. I know a lot of people were like, "Where'd she go? Why is she off Twitter?" I mean, wouldn't you be? Yeah, you probably would be too. So, yeah, there's a whole history with Allie and Rosemary. Yep. Hello, Chris. Hope you're doing well as well. Can we get a heel Allie? I wouldn't think they would have a problem, or TK would have a problem with OnlyFans. He's letting Darby do stuff like Everest while under contract. Yeah, I don't know. All these rumors circulate around. You don't really know the truth of why it happened or when it happened. It could have been that their contracts ran out and they just maybe didn't have anything for them, which I said this a couple of years ago. They grabbed a lot of people at the very beginning, and they kept grabbing and grabbing and grabbing and grabbing. The roster is probably overinflated, and there are going to be people that aren't going to survive that. They're not going to keep them. They don't have dark anymore. They don't have that stuff, so they don't have the time to put them on TV. And so a lot of these wrestlers, if they're not being used and there's no storylines for them, they're not going to stick around. You're going to go find some other way to make money. And again, like I said, I don't blame them. Last time Allie was in Impact, she died, and she did. Yeah, that's how Impact killed her off. Yep. I did watch that because that was when I was watching a lot of the old DK stuff and things like that. So yes, I did see that. Taya should have stayed in Impact. Taya's doing really well for herself, and you never know. She does so much. She's in AAA, Triple Mania, stuff like that. If she wanted to come back, she could, and I'm sure that they'd bring her back in a heartbeat. So, Tony says Impact needs Allie back. I see a lot of AEW wrestlers like Thunder Rosa and many other leaving. Thunder's announcing now, I think. So, yeah, maybe that's what she wants to do. The back was really, really hurt. Don't know how much she can wrestle much anymore. So maybe she wants to do that kind of stuff. She wants to be on the broadcast team, which is perfectly fine. All right, man. What's up next?
All right. Last one this Thursday.
Man, dude. Jeez. They just keep, this
Thursday.
This is going to be the third time we're going to have seen Will Ospreay. I can watch him every week on there. And, this could be maybe the last time we might see him in a TNA ring or an Impact ring for a while. If he goes and signs with one of the bigger companies, WWE or AEW. But the 2 matches, both fall into categories for me of match of the year. Both are going to be put in our match of the year poll to vote on. But his match with Speedball Mike Bailey, 5. I think Meltzer, our boy Dave gave that a 5.75 or something like that. He went over 5 stars for that match. And then he, of course, wrestled Eddie Edwards. I would say Eddie Edwards is right up there as one of the matches of the year. And now you are going to have him wrestle Josh Alexander this coming Thursday, which is a pay-per-view match, a main event pay-per-view match. Almost anywhere that you go, I hope they devote time to this. I hope this is the last match of the night and it's a half hour long or however long they can give it, because this is going to be another banger and another one that could be added to that list of 5-star matches that Will Ospreay has been involved in since he's been in Impact Wrestling. I am super excited, but there is a lot of stuff this coming Thursday. Thursday is a huge show with all the things that are going on there. And like Jeff said, pay-per-view quality stuff. So if you are an Impact fan, if you are getting excited for the switch to TNA, don't sleep on what they have left, because this coming Thursday show is going to be an absolute banger, and you're not going to want to miss these matches, man. These 5-star matches are you don't see them every day. and Will Ospreay is just amazing at what he does. We all know how good Josh is. Those of you who watch Impact with us every week, this is going to be another. They're gonna knock it out of the park. So come out Thursday. All I could say is come out Thursday and join us. Become an Impact Insider if you're not. You're going to want to do that anyway for the upcoming TNA stuff that they're going to have out. So come and join us on Thursday and check it out. It's going to probably be, again, Jeff, one of the best matches of the year.
Yeah, and we're going to talk about another match that's coming up that Josh Alexander is involved in, and that could be considered match of the night.
Yeah,
but no, this is going to be a crazy card. You got Sonny Kiss and Trinity.
Yep. Love Sonny Kiss. I can't wait to see that. That's going to be tremendous.
Yeah, yep. I mean, that match is going to be great. So there's a lot going on and a lot of build up to Final Resolution.
Yep.
Which will be the final Impact show.
Yep.
And then we'll get, we'll roll into January and get the revival of TNA. So I'm looking forward to it. But these matches have been great, and man, if they can somehow get him to sign when his deal is up,
I'm really trying not to get my hopes up, Jeff. I'm really trying not to, but on the other hand, it's one of those things that I just want to see so much for where they're going and where they're headed. They would shock the world, man. Absolutely shock the world. People would be the people who even are at this point even still saying, okay, they're name changing. It's not going to really be any big deal. They will absolutely be shocked if they sign him, even if it is for a smaller deal. And it would just be such an amazing thing for them and for a TNA and stuff like that. I'm looking for the other matches. There's also Moose going up against Heath, which, by the way, if you've been enjoying Heath's work, that is going to be his last match for TNA and Impact Wrestling. So that'll be the last time we'll see Heath. He is no longer under contract with them, so he will be wrestling Moose this coming Thursday. So join us. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be a really, really good show. Really good show. All I know, Jeff, is it's going to be really hard to vote for Match of the Year.
Yeah, real hard.
It's going to be really hard. Little segue from that is, don't forget, guys, I will be starting soon. Usually I do it after Thanksgiving when the retail rush kind of dies down, but I will start to compile all of the votes for our TIGS Awards this season. We do these every year at the beginning of the following year. So I'll be starting to get the poll going, getting the matches and stuff like that. And you know what? Maybe we'll make this a little interactive, because sometimes I have a hard time going back and remembering matches. I'm a little old. I forget things. So maybe I'll make this a little interactive. Why don't you guys, all of you who are here and any of you who may be listening afterward, why don't you go ahead and yes, this is a cheap way for me to get comments on this video, and I don't care. Go ahead and comment below on this video who was your match of this year. Now, you got obviously so far, because we still have some things to go through. We still have a Survivor Series to go through. We still have other pay-per-views to happen yet and stuff like that. We may see some other things, but comment below. Actually, give me 3 comments. Give me match of the year, and then break it down. I'm really giving you guys homework. Match of the year, male and female. And then give me wrestler of the year, male, and wrestler of the year, female. Give me 3 things. 4 things, actually, if you break the match of the year. But match of the year for you, this is your personal thing. It doesn't matter what anybody else says. Match of the year for you, male and female match of the year. And then wrestler of the year and female wrestler of the year. And you know what I'll do? I will compile all of the stuff we get in our comments, and they will go into the poll as poll choices. So that's how I'm going to do it, rather than because it would take, if we did that for every single award, it would take absolutely forever. But yeah, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get you guys involved, And so go ahead, and if you're listening, comment afterwards on what your matches of the year would be, male and female, and also who is your wrestler of the year, male, and who is your wrestler of 2023, female. So please do that. And I'll give you a little homework assignment for tonight. But yeah, please go ahead and do that for us. All right, and I'll probably also put it out on the socials as well in case you forget. I'll stick it out on Twitter and stuff too, so people can respond out there. But for you that are listening to the video and others, throw it on the video as a comment. This way, I can go and see it, and I can get them all compiled and include them in our votes. So. If Ospreay doesn't go to TNA, it's fine. They have talent. Build them like they did Josh. Build stars. Oh, I'm not saying it's at the end of the world, and you're 100% right. They'll move on. I just think that would put them over the edge. That would just give them so much attention in the wrestling media that it would just be a great way to just start off. That's what I'm saying. So, all right. Tony, leave those. I appreciate them here, but it's going to be hard for me to find them in this chat here. So please leave them for us in a comment below this video. So in the comment section on YouTube that are below here, please leave us a comment below the video, because there's no way I'm going to be able to go back and research and go back and look at all of the comments back and find it, because it's very hard to find comments on a 2 or 2.5 hour stream. So please leave those and put them on the bottom in the comments on the actual video. Appreciate it. Thank you very much. All right. I believe we're moving on. I don't know, Jeff. Your comments about Ospreay and Josh Alexander and Impact this week.
The only thing I have to say is, make sure you watch it. That's it.
Oh man,
it's going to be great. That's all I have to say.
Come out on Thursday. Don't miss Thursday. Whether you watch Impact or not, and you're just a wrestling fan, don't miss this coming Thursday. It's going to be crazy. All right. I think we are, let me look here. Yes, I think we're done with the news. So, you know what time it is, folks. It is a little segment we like to call Airing of Grievances. And as this gets closer and closer, if you don't know where this is from, it's from an episode of Seinfeld. And this came right around Christmas, because this was called Festivus. And look it up. You can read all about it, and you can find out where the origins of the Airing of Grievances is from. But here we go, Jeff. It's time for everyone's favorite segment of the show. It's Airing of Grievances.
The Airing of Grievances. I got a lot of problems with you people. Now you're going to hear about.
All right. Jeff has a very interesting one that he wants to share today. I'm going to take a bit of a back seat and kind of just piggyback off of what Jeff's going to do. So Jeff, my friend, the floor is yours.
Thank you. I'm not going to go as far as I was thinking initially.
Okay.
But I feel like this needs to be said. I really miss the time, and it feels like it was so long ago, where people had compassion for others and people genuinely cared about how something they said or did would affect another person. I hate to sound like the old guy, the stick in the mud, but social media has really created some vile human beings. I've seen over the past few days, I've seen clips of people doing things, racially motivated, and then some of the comments underneath. I've seen people, obviously politics are polarizing, but I've seen people, because they have a certain political stance, people cheered because this person got injured in a soccer match. I mean, you don't have to like a person's politics, but you don't have to be a jerk because you disagree with someone's politics. I'm friends with many people that I disagree with politically. I'm not a jerk to them. They can believe what they want to believe from a political standpoint. I believe what I believe. It doesn't mean we have to hate each other. And I think it also translates, and this is the last point that I want to make. You have these people who feel like they can just be a vile person behind a keyboard, behind a screen, and you don't know how things land with other people. You don't know what other people are going through. You don't know if that's the thing that makes that person say, you know what, I'm fed up, I'm going the heck off. You don't know how things are going to land with people. So the only thing I'm going to ask, I yeah, I mean, I agree with that bonus baby saying I don't think it created vile people. It's just exposing them. It's just exposing who they are. The veil has been lifted. No more masks there. That's what I think. Last thing I'll say is check on the people that you care about. The quiet people, the ones that are like, yeah, I'm good, I'm okay. Check really truly check on them. Ask them how they're doing. Um, because I can tell you that even the strongest people have difficulties and they need to be checked on too. So that's all I have. I know it's not wrestling related at all, but I just felt like it needed to be said because we oftentimes don't think about how things affect people and what they may be going through.
I put up a graphic and I shared it on our insiders Twitter. But I got this from a very good friend of mine. Her and I grew up best friends. She was my best friend through when I moved to a new town, which is very stressful for a young kid. Being in like second, third grade, moving to a completely new town with your parents, and you're leaving all your friends that you knew, your school that you knew. Very, very stressful time. And so him and I grew up to be extremely good friends, and we don't live close to one another anymore, but her and I still talk to this day. And she's very attuned to a lot of this stuff. She owns she basically raises wolfhounds, and has a shelter for them, which is a very amazing thing to do. She's always a big dog lover. She loves animals, and she spends a lot of time with the wolves and stuff. So I think a lot of times when you're with animals, or if you're a lover of animals, you kind of tend to be a somewhat better person, because I think you realize that you care for and the way the animals care for one another. When they're in packs and stuff like that, I think you kind of learn from that. But anyway, she shared me this, and I think it's extremely viable. Um, why you should be kind to people, which I say that at the end of our show every time. You can see the circle says someone's life, and then the bottom graphic says what you know about it, and a little speck of dust basically in the middle of that. It's very true. Very, very, very true. We just, I think a lot of times we assume, we make assumptions too much. We assume that um we are, I don't know if it's assume things, or we just don't. I think a lot of these comments that get made, people just don't think. All they're thinking about is themselves, and getting themselves popular online by posting something vile. We know that there are people that are creators that are out there who do that. and they do it on purpose. And there's guys that do it on TV daily because they want views. They want people paying attention to them. They don't care how they get it. They don't care how horrible they are and stuff like that. That's, I mean, my God, Morton Downey Jr. lived on that stuff back in the day with his talk show. That's exactly what he did. He was an actor. He basically acted to be this horrible, horrible person who was horrible to everybody in his certain guests that he would have, and would pick sides one or the other. But he was just a horrible man, and it got all kinds of attention. And I think that's a lot of the people that do this kind of thing, I think, unfortunately, on social media are attention starved. And I think that their way of getting attention is to reach out and say vile things to people, which is very, very sad in a way. But there are some that just do it to do it, and they just do it to either be funny or there's some that are unintentional that they just don't think when they post. And I think those are the people who are just miserable and having a rotten time of their own. They just lash out at everybody else. But then there's some that just do it because they just want to do it. Those are the people who I feel really, really sorry for and sad for, because they're just people that I used to call when I was growing up. You call them killjoys. No matter what joyous thing happens, they'll find fault in it. It could be they're the type of people that if you tell them you won $5 million, they'd be like, well, how did you steal that? Or how did you, they'll just shoot it down no matter how good it is. And they're just going to absolutely just shoot it down. So social media, I can go on a rant for hours about what social media is and what it does. There are days and times that I wish it didn't exist. Because it just, life seemed so much easier before it happened. We can go back to the time of MySpace, and when people used to, I was watching a movie last night called You've Got Mail. It's an older movie with Tom Hanks and Meg Ryan. And I was watching that, and it brought me back to when that was all the internet was. You connect to the thing, right? You hear that, that whole thing. It would connect to the internet, and all of a sudden you'd hear, you've got mail. And there was your email. And that was all. That was the only way you could communicate. There wasn't any of this other stuff. You didn't have Facebook. You didn't have Twitter. You didn't have all this other stuff, Instagram and whatever else, TikTok and everything else. You didn't have it. And in that respect, it was much less hard on people's mental health, because while, you could get an email from someone, but you just delete an email, right? It's not something that's constantly coming at you in the form of every time you look at your Twitter feed, all you're seeing is stuff that's negative. You weren't getting that back then. And sometimes I really wish, a lot of this stuff just didn't exist. It's a wonderful thing. It's a wonderful way to meet people. Do you know what I used Twitter as when I first started? And I've been on it a while now, I think. I used it because that was one of the only ways you could ever look to see you could look up celebrities. So I would look up like people that I liked, like actors and actresses, musicians and stuff, and I'd follow them. And then I would see their feed and what they're doing. Sometimes out of the blue, you would get somebody who would respond to what you say, or they would follow you. And it was the best thing ever. I think I got followed by, I don't even remember who was the first one to follow me, but it might've been a rock band or something that followed me. And now I know, because I didn't know back then, but it probably wasn't even them. It was somebody in their PR department that did. But either way, it was just a cool thing. It's degraded. It's just degraded. It is probably the most negative place you could be on social media. And it's just sucks. Because it's a good way of communication. It's a good way to communicate with people that you never would know otherwise. People that you see overseas or have met overseas. I've known any of you people that watch our show that are from overseas, unless I probably spoke to you on Twitter. But yeah, I just think, and I shared that graphic because I think people just need to stop and realize, and just stop and realize how something so small, that you think it's small anyway, can affect somebody in such a big way. I think if more people knew the consequences of an action, that maybe it would stop them from doing it. Like, we've heard stories of people killing themselves, wrestlers killing themselves because of things that we're seeing on social media. And I think that I think if that person would have known that someone did that because of their comment, I think, now maybe I'm wrong, but I think they would feel horrible and carry that with them the rest of their life, that they caused a human being's death because of something that they said on Twitter. And I don't know. I don't want to say that I want there to be justice for people, but maybe if a family member or someone of somebody like that happens, maybe they need to. That I know they're not thinking this way because they're only concerned about their loss, and I totally understand that. But wouldn't it be awesome if somebody would just be like, okay, you caused this to my loved one. I'm going to put this out on social media that it was you who did this. Now, that person would disappear off socials. You would never see them again. But at least they would know that they were responsible for that. And that is extremely, I don't care who you are, how hard you think you are, how angry you are, that is extremely hard to live with. Extremely. I'd imagine it's extremely hard to live with that. And so maybe that's something that needs to be done. I don't know. But how to fix it, I don't think it can be. What you just need to do, and what many people need to do, is just stay away from it. Take breaks from it. When you see it getting too much, move away from it. People fight it, and I'm proud of the people that are wrestlers that do. Mickey James fights it every single day. I see her posting about just that someone posted negative stuff about her wearing her Indian outfit, her heritage, her posted about that and how she shouldn't do that. She tries to fight against it every day. But you know what? What's sad about it? It's a losing battle, and there's just much more negative out there than there is positive. So, like I said, I can go on and on about this and how I wish they would fix it and change it and stuff like that. Jeff said it all, and I just wanted to add to it. But all I can say is from this, I don't say what I say at the end of shows lightly. I say be kind to one another, and I say it with all meaning behind it. Because look, we're just a small group, but it starts with someone. And that person leads to more and more and more. The negativity can be fought off by positivity. So, listening to this, I hope you all in the chat, and those of you who aren't in the chat that listen to our show, I hope that if you are one of those people who are doing that, I hope you can just kind of try to understand in the back of your mind that you could be leading to really, really bad things for another individual that you might touch. I'm done. Good stuff. Good stuff. Yeah, we quote the Herman Edwards thing all the time.
All the time.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yep. People don't have accountability for what they say. Cyberbullying. There is to be done justice, some accountability for causing others pain. Free speech should have limits. I just think I'm not looking for justice like Swag Fan in the way like a Batman type justice where the person gets. I'm not looking for that. You know what I mean? Like, but you're right. But the justice, I think, to me, is just having them know, or be hold them accountable for what they've done. Hold them accountable for what they've done in some way. And even if that way is for them to have to live with it and have to know what they did and know what their words did to someone. I think that's heavy. That's a heavy burden to bear. So, yep. Good stuff. Another segment of airing of grievances. Kind of good for this time of year, I think, because this is a tough time of year for people. The holidays can be tough. People that live alone, people that don't have families, people that have lost people, and have to deal with that. It is a very, very, very mentally difficult time of the year. So keep that in mind too. While hopefully you all out there that are listening have families and friends that you spend time with, just keep in mind that when you're on the socials and you might want to spout off just keep in mind that maybe someone that's out there, they don't have it so good. And, we just don't know. So, all right. Moving on to our next segment, Jeff, I believe we are headed to sell or no sell.
That's right. Here we go.
There it is. It is time for our sell or no sell segment. You guys know how this works. Do you agree? Do you disagree? If so, let us know in the chat. Sell it or no sell it. We will give you a topic. You will tell us what you think we should do or what you would do, and Jeff and I will do the same. So there you can see topic number 1. We're going to go 1. We're going to go 2. We're going to go 3. Really easy. Jeff, Samoa Joe is the person to beat MJF for the AEW title. Sell or no sell? Guys in the chat, you do as well. And Jeff, what do you think, man? Jeff says no, no, no.
I love Samoa Joe, but I don't think it happens.
Yeah.
I think it might be. I think it could be Adam Cole. I really do, but I don't think it's going to be Samoa Joe. I don't think it'll be him.
Yeah. I'm gonna agree, Jeff. I love Samoa Joe as well, but again, I tend to kind of look at logic with a lot of this, and like you said, I think at this point it's got to be Adam Cole. With everything that's happened, we've seen this kind of thing before. The two of them are best of friends, going around. They hold the tag teams together, and in fact, my gosh, we've seen this with Hulk Hogan and Macho Man Randy Savage, and the Mega Powers, right? And then they're this unstoppable tag team, and then all of a sudden, "You got lust in your eyes" happens, and they blow up because of Miss Elizabeth, and then you get the whole explosion, and it becomes the two of them fighting each other. And that's what I think is probably what's going to be led to and what's going to happen here. When they're going to do it, they could drag it out as long as they want. They could have it be at the next pay-per-view that they're having overseas, that they want to blow up the attendance with. So it could wait until then. Samoa Joe, I think, Jeff, is at this point in his career where he's still a great wrestler. He's still a great promo, and combining those two, he will give MJF a run for his money with the promos and with the match. But I do not think that Samoa Joe is gonna win, just because of the fact that I think it's always been Adam Cole that they're leaning toward, and even more so if they find out that Adam Cole is the devil. So, yeah. Let's see what chat's got to say. We got, let's see. Sell says Swack Fan. Sell says James Grant. Okay, so some people are selling it. Okay. Mm-hmm. No sell says Deanna. Clown selling it. Dylan, no. Brandon, no. Clown, Cole all day. No sell says Bonus Baby. He believes it's going to be Swerve Strickland. Okay. For me, it's a no sell, but I think MJF is going to feud with Wardlow and then maybe Adam Cole. Wardlow would be an interesting one, right? Because Wardlow was, of course, his kind of bodyguard for the longest time, right? Fighting a losing battle, trying to predict what Tony Khan comes up with, just as likely to be Ric Flair. Let's hope not. No sell, because I have a feeling that Jay White is going to likely be the number one. You think? Oh, wow. Okay. And it's certainly capable. Only reason I say sell is because I like Samoa Joe, and I feel it should be, but agree it won't be him. Okay. Cole is going to be out a long time, so they may have changed the story a bit. Yeah, they probably had to. Yeah, probably had to change it up until he's back. Wardlow is part of the Devil's group. That would make sense. All right, Jeff, moving on. What's number 2?
All right, so this one, Zack Sabre Jr. is going to be at Final Resolution, teaming up with Josh Alexander, going up against the Motor City Machine Guns. So I asked the question, that match is going to be a match of the year contender.
This guy supposedly signed Impact.
Really?
That's what I read. I don't know if that's true because I see a lot of things that are out there that are rumors and stuff like that. But I don't know. I've seen it in a couple different places that said that he is signing with Impact slash TNA. So I don't know if that's true, but what an amazing addition he would be. So. Zach and Josh Alexander, yeah, you know what, Jeff? We're going to have way too many match of the years that we're going to have to try to vote for.
Yeah.
uh,
Way too much.
I'm gonna sell it. I mean, look at the contestants. The Motor City Machine Guns are always involved in Match of the Year tag team stuff. It seems they just get better with age. And Zach Saber Jr. and Josh together, my gosh. Yeah, I would bet. I mean, we're gonna have to make a tag team Match of the Year section, but I wouldn't doubt it one bit that they would be. Wouldn't doubt it one bit. But man, if it's true that he signed with them, that's a huge signing as well. So I don't know. There's so many. There's so many out there. You know what? No, I think I might change my vote on this. I think I'm going to say no. And the reason, though, is because there's so many singles ones already out there from this year. If they were doing a separate category saying tag team match of the year, then I would change my vote and I would say yes. But because you're putting down that, match of the year candidate, and there usually is just match of the year, then I'm going to no sell it because I think there's just been so many good ones that we've seen. So I'm going to reluctantly, I'm going to have to no sell it. What about you, sir?
Man, this is tough because the star power in that match would lead you to say that, that is going to be. But Deanna brings up a good point. Maybe Zach and Josh don't get along so well.
That could be.
And you do have the chemistry with the Motor City Machine Guns. I think it's going to be a great match, but there have been so many great matches this year.
Yeah,
there have been some great match. It's hard to, especially with the level of matches and everything this year.
Yep.
It's hard to just automatically give it to a match just because it looks great on paper.
Yeah, that's very true. We've been very blessed with a lot of great matches this year. A lot. There's been a lot of them out there that we've been able to watch weekly, and so yeah, it's so hard to put any more on the list. But Crispy Chris wants to know what's favorite Zack Sabre Jr. match. I will be honest, I have not seen him much. I know where he's from. I know where he's been. I know he's had some stuff in AEW, but because I don't get to watch that very often, I haven't seen him much. So I can't safely say. I'm going to have to do research, and I'm going to have to go and do some of that and look at some of the stuff. But I haven't seen him in anything really that I can talk about here. Jeff, do you have an answer for him? What about you?
I'll be honest. The most recent one that he had against Will Ospreay, I thought was fantastic.
That's well, I'm going to start there then.
Yeah, start there and work your way back, Joe. But yeah, I mean, and obviously the match he had up against Bryan Danielson. But yeah, for me, him and Ospreay just tore the house down. So
I'll have to watch that one then for sure. Sell that will be a match of the year contender. Zack Sabre Jr. signed. It's RK Shuttlesworth. Don't take my word for that. I read it, but I don't know. It could have been a play on words. It could have been people messing around with wording because Impact said in their statement makes his Impact debut. So somebody could have taken that and ran with it and said, "Oh, he's signed there and it's his debut." So don't quote me on it. I did not see that anywhere where any sort of legit source saying that they signed him to TNA. I did not see that. Because I'm sure Scott D'Amore would have been online shaking his hand and sign with a contract and stuff like that if that were true. So I kind of want to say be careful with that because it's probably just a play on words and probably just somebody took that he's making his debut and ran with it and stuck it out there saying he's going to be in TNA. No sell for now, said Brandon. Deanna says no sell. I sense an implosion from Zack Sabre Jr. and Josh. Judas Priest, Zack Sabre Jr., Josh Alexander versus Motor City Machine Guns to send Impact off. Well, if you're going to put Impact to bed, may as well go out with a bang. Sell it. Sell, says John. No sell. But before then, Johnny Swinger will be defending his IPWF exciting division title, guaranteed match of the year, even if that year is 1984. I'll believe it when I see it. Yes, I know that story would be amazing, especially when they come back together. I just saw the match between him and Will Ospreay on NJ after Impact on Thursdays. Agreed. Him versus Nick Gage. Zack Sabre Jr. had one just Friday gone with Mike Bailey. You're not the only one that can write a good story, says Deanna. Imagine Zack Sabre Jr., Joe Hendry, and Leon Slater as a new British invasion versus a new Team Canada. Oh, wow. That would be that'd be awesome.
He has a match against Leon Slater that I have to go check out now. I have not seen that. It's Rev Pro Uprising 2022. So I'm going to check that out on YouTube as soon as we get done.
Okay. Zack Sabre Jr. Versus Will Ospreay was a great match, says Chris. And RK Shuttlesworth says sell this one. Okay. All right. Moving on. What's our last topic in sell or no sell?
Last one. I have a lot to say about this too. LA Knight's response to Roman Reigns' cheating tactics was a nice turn in the storyline, Joe. Sell or no sell?
Yeah, I mean, I was the one like a couple of weeks ago clamoring for the fact that it was getting a little stale. And I did say that they have to do something a little different. They've got to change it up a little bit. And after listening to some stuff on Busted Open and hearing how the wrestlers, it was Bully Ray and Mark Henry saying how that Roman has been made into a spectacle, almost comparing him to Andre the Giant, which kind of resonated with me because I used to watch a lot of Andre the Giant when I was a kid, and I guess now it kind of does make sense when they say that. Where you're only going to see him 4 times a year, and you're only going to see him in matches where they're going to be very similar. And then they brought out the fact that they don't want to get him hurt, knowing where they're going to be leading to at WrestleMania. I did like this. It is a different twist in it. It's a little different from the way that it used to be, because when someone loses to him, they do that same old thing. It's like the walk of shame. They come down to the ring with their head down a little bit, and they get in the ring and they try to cut this big promo. And then the first thing everybody starts to think is, well, what the hell? You lost just like everybody else lost, when Kevin Owens didn't win, and when Cody didn't win, and when they all come, and things were, it's like, we've seen this before. This was different, and I'll give them that. LA Knight, listen, there's no way he's forgotten. There's no way that his future isn't bright. He got a rub pretty early on here from Roman Reigns, and so that's going to go a long way for him. He'll have titles. I love Jeff's idea. Jeff mentioned this last week, talking about saying that how he should go up against Logan Paul and win the title off of Logan Paul. Would be tremendous, because everybody universally hates Logan Paul. So him beating Logan and taking that title off of him would make, that would be a huge reaction for a lot of people. So I'm going to sell it, Jeff. I do think it was a good change, the way they're attacking it. And I think it's about time maybe too, that maybe someone calls him out on that, because that's one thing, they complain about it. Like Kevin Owens was like, oh, he's got all his bloodline doing this, and they complain about it. But so far, we haven't heard just like this where people just call him out on it. So yeah, I like it. I'm going to sell it.
Same here. It's logical.
Yeah.
I mean, it's how you would respond if you saw the same thing at work every day and the same person getting away with it every day, eventually you'd be like, you know what? Look, guy's cheating over here. He's not doing what he's supposed to do.
Yep.
I'm not gonna sit there and keep watching it. So it makes a lot of sense. And back to the whole thing of with Logan Paul, he's got that U.S. title everywhere.
Oh, I know. I've seen it. He had it in the shower, hiding his crotch. Yeah,
Um,
yeah. I see.
well,
Yeah,
well, there too, but he's got it on like financial shows where he's
yeah,
talking about the success of Prime, and he's got it at the UFC event, and I mean he's got it everywhere. So, but yeah, I love L.A. Knight, and he feels like a throwback, and I love that about him.
yeah, yeah, yep. Sell, yeah. Says Bonus Bay. Yeah, I would think that this is a yeah, pretty universal if I'm looking out there. Let's see. Cell says Chris. Cell says RK Shuttlesworth. Cell says Deanna. Cell says Dylan. Cell says John. Cell says Alexa Bliss Gamer. Swack fan as well. Brandon Wayne Lewis. Yes. Brandon Salmon says Cell. James Grant sells it. LA versus Jimmy. Yeah, that's this week on Friday. LA Knight beat Logan Paul is the right way to go. They got to put a championship on this guy. Cell. Yeah. Yeah. So I agree. Yeah, I agree. I think it's a good way to go. It does kind of, it's going to piss off Roman because, to kind of demean his title run by that, he kind of used to just blow it off, kind of like, But when you start to kind of demean it a little bit and say, well, you can't win without them, which we all know is the way the story is going to eventually go. When he loses, he's not going to have help or have enough help to overcome the person. If it's going to be Cody, Cody might just have too many people in his own corner that are going to fight everybody off. You might see a lot of revenge happening here, where it could be, Sami Zayn coming down and breaking it up, or now that John Cena is going to be gone for a while, you may see John Cena come out and take out Solo Sikoa, so you might see a lot of that happen. Hell, LA Knight could come down now, and he could take out one of them and get rid of all of the help, and there is none left. So, and then that's how he finally loses. It's like that, when everything all else is beat down around him and all his soldiers are beaten and broken, there's no one else that he can rely on. And that's when you finally get to him. So, yep. I think it's good stuff. You may want to cut the podcast early. You're missing a hell of no, I don't think so. It's what, 9-3? Yeah, that's garbage. I've been checking the score. Trust me. That's absolute
I
garbage.
did send you a.
I think we're going to be entertaining. It's 9-6 now. Oh God. Yeah, let's go. I think we're a bit more entertaining than a 9-6 football game between two really bad teams. At least I'd hope so. All right, man. That is our sell or no sell segment, and we're moving on. We've got a brand new, just started it last week segment of our show, and this is called the burning question of the week. So this is something that Jeff picks out. That is just something that is a topic that's out there that is kind of a hot topic, right? So there it is up on the screen. Why are wrestling fans so obsessed with the competition between companies? And this kind of leads back to our grievances and have to be toxic online about it. Why are wrestling fans so obsessed with the competition between companies and have to be toxic online? Man, I wish I had the answer to this, and I wish I could solve it. It's a great question, and it does happen. It happens way too often. You are constantly seeing people out there, and I shared a picture, and let me pull this one up. And I shared this the other day on our Twitter, and I was being sarcastic, completely sarcastic when I posted it, and because I had to do it. But let me get to our front page here and just find it. Give me a second here. My thing is loading. There it is. Okay. Right here. Look at that. That is Rhea Ripley and Killer Kelly sharing a moment at a convention, probably a wrestling convention, I would imagine. Imagine that. And what I wrote was so cool. Oh, wow, look. Can you believe it? Wrestlers from Impact and WWE are hanging out. Truly, it can't be. And then I wrote, yeah, I'm being sarcastic. Um, the people who do this, do you not think that these people root for one another? Do you not think that all these wrestlers are in a community of wrestling, right? They all want each other to succeed. And yet you are seeing all of this, and I call it tribalism, all of this tribalism out there, because my company is better than your company. The one I like is better than you, and you suck. And your company's terrible. And my guy does it way better than yours. And we've been doing this longer, and your company doesn't have good standards and doesn't have good wrestlers and doesn't. My God, I just it's just this is not something that's new that I've seen. I've seen this start to develop around movies, of all things. Movies. People would go and see a movie and enjoy it, and they would post about it. I run a geek group online that is all about geek stuff, Marvel films, sci-fi films, all that, and we share stuff and we post things about what we like. And the cool thing about that is I control it. So if I see it, boom, you're gone. There's no questions. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. There's no debate. You're out. And that's why my group doesn't have 10,000 or 20,000 people, because I control that. I don't want that, because that makes it worse. But yet I see it. Those people, somebody comes on and says, oh man, I really enjoyed this. Let me think about the Marvels. The Marvels just came out. Wow, I really enjoyed that movie. I thought it was really good. And the next thing you know, you see a flood of people that post underneath him saying, dude, this movie sucked. How could you possibly like this movie, man? It sucked. It's horrible. And then you just see more people just jump the bandwagon. Yeah, it's horrible. Yeah, this sucks. Yeah, that blows. Why did you watch that? You suck. Blah blah. And then it goes all out of water. It's entertainment. It's entertainment. Does everybody understand that everybody has their own form of entertainment that they like? We are all different folks. Not everyone's going to like what we all like, nor can you force them to. If you like something, like it. Great. Fantastic. Enjoy. And that pertains to anything. If you like a sport, if you like a movie, if you like music, if you whatever it is, if you like it and you want to shout out about it, do so. It's your social media when it comes down to it. Do so. Put it out there. Say, hey, I think this is great. And you know what? One good thing about social media? A block button. If someone comes on and they say something to you, nasty, rude, I'm telling you guys, I'm so good at that now that if I look out of the corner of my eye and I see something that says, I just don't even read the rest of it, and boom, you're gone. I don't care. Ultimately, I don't care, because it's my opinion. It's my social media. I don't give one damn what you like. That is mine and mine alone. And you don't have to like what I do. And that's why we're all individuals. So it is the stupidest thing ever that people are tribalistic about pro wrestling. It is controlled by people that are writing a show very, very similarly to how they control television shows. It is the same thing. They write scripts. They follow scripts. Someone is writing scripts. If you hate someone, don't get mad at wrestlers. Don't get mad at that. Get mad at the people writing, because they're the ones that are designing these things. But just because you don't like it doesn't mean everybody has to not like it. Be your own individual. Be yourself. Don't give a damn about what other people think. It's your opinion that matters. This is what you get entertained by. If you find it fun, then who the hell cares what anyone else thinks? That's just a lesson to learn in life, where the vast majority doesn't matter. It's you that matters. And who cares? I don't give a damn what anyone else thinks. I never did. It's me. I surround myself with good people and friends that a lot of them share likes with me, right? That's how you find friends. People that get along most of the time find things that they like about one another, and they agree on certain things, right? Um, you know, if Jeff hated wrestling, do you think we'd be doing this podcast? Probably not. It's that simple. So just, if you don't like it, my God, go take, if okay, if you're on social media, right, and if you're watching a show and you don't like it, take this little thing right here. It's called the mouse, right? If you're on your PC or if you're on your phone, you just touch the pad and go over and right now see that, I don't know, this might be hard for some people. This you might want to pay close attention because it might be hard. But take your mouse, go up to the top corner. You look up on top. There's a little red X. You see that little red X up on the top there? Yep. You just watch. Wait. Yep. You click it. Oh, look at that. It's no longer on your screen anymore. Imagine that. Something that you can't stand, you can physically shut it off. Wow. What a concept. What a concept that is. It was a little harder in mine and Jeff's day when we were older because we had to physically get up and stand up and go to our TV and turn it off. Wasn't that easy then?
We were the remote, Joe.
We were
Joe,
the
remote.
Yeah, that's true. If our fathers didn't like something, we were the one that had to go up and shut it off. So it was a little harder when we were young. But for God's sakes, if you don't like it, it's not like there are 3 TV channels anymore. Growing up, that's all I had. Actually, I'm sorry, I had 4. I had ABC, NBC, CBS, and WVIA with Sesame Street and telethons. That's all I had to watch. I didn't have much of a choice. You guys growing up have a bazillion choices. Too many, in fact. There are so many things that you can do. So many other things, notwithstanding, and I'm not just saying watching things on TV. I'm saying playing video games. I'm saying doing stuff on a computer. I'm saying doing this, all these things you have to do. Why in God's name would you sit on social media and waste your time and life and effort and make yourself miserable by hating on something else? Why? Dear Lord, just find something that you like and watch it. It's not hard. I just don't get it, Jeff. I don't get it. I just don't. And especially around wrestling, it's so bizarre. It's wrestling. If you don't like a type of it, don't watch it. That's it. Problem solved. It's not hard. It's not hard. I certainly wouldn't go, my wife was saying to me, she wanted me to watch Barbie with her. I'm like, no, I'm not watching Barbie. And she's like, well, why not? It's very much about women and women empowerment and stuff like that. I'm like, no, you don't understand. And it's not just for the story necessarily, but I'm not watching it because I grew up where my sister, I was raised with G.I. Joes and Star Wars and other action figures like that. My sister was raised with Barbie dolls. So because I grew up that way, and maybe I'm too rigid in my old age, but because I grew up that way, I'm not going to be interested in that. And yes, well, I get it. It has other themes to it and stuff, but that doesn't interest me. It's just not something that interests me. I don't watch dramas much. I like to be entertained when I go to a film. I like to be taken away from my life. I like to watch things that are science fiction or things that I like to watch the superhero movies because they take me away from my life for 2 hours. That's entertainment. That's what you should be doing. Watch something that makes you happy. Plain and simple, Jeff. Plain and simple. I don't think it's that hard. Sorry, I went on a rant.
No, it's fine. I mean, I'm going to put it up gonna put it up there one more time because in case you just joined us, what we're talking about is we have this new segment where we search out a question that's asked during the week and we discuss it. So why are wrestling fans so obsessed with the competition between companies? Um, One, because people, I think, like to relive the glory days. And when was wrestling at its hottest for a lot of people? When WCW and WWF were
Yep.
going back and forth.
Yep.
And I think people, kind of want to see that happen again. But I will say that right now, the way that wrestling is set up, um, no one needs to be worried about. Um, oh, okay. Bonus baby corrected me on. I'm not a Washington fan, so I don't remember all of them. I just remember Doug Williams because he played for the Bucks at one time, and I was mad that he wasn't playing for him again. Um, but no, I just think people just have to find a reason to be negative. I think for the most part these days, um, people are. It feels like people are chasing fame all the time and chasing that little bit of relevancy. And unfortunately, the thing that sells most these days is negativity and vitriol. Most people they got to get online, they got to spew something, they got to hate something. I've seen some of the most ridiculous things that people say. Oh, I hate this. Like, I mean, like get a life. I mean, that's I don't like being that direct, but in certain cases you have to be. Just get a life. Because it's ridiculous. Like what you like. I'll go ahead and be honest with you right now. There's a certain reporter in the wrestling world that I'm not fond of. Um, I don't follow that person because there's no point. Because it's just gonna upset me and irritate me. So I don't follow them. Period. Saves myself a headache and a little bit of stress and frustration when I see their name pop up. So
Yep.
um
Yep.
so yeah, I think people just like to be negative, and I think a lot of people will be toxic because there's no accountability. They don't have to look a person in the face um when they say whatever it is they say behind that keyboard. Um, I'm not an advocate of violence, but there's a quote from Mike Tyson out there. I'm gonna screw it up, but it's like basically people on social media have forgotten the fact that um, words used to get you punched in the face or something like that to that effect.
It's very
Um,
true.
I mean, there was a time where you say something, you get your snot box rocked, and that was it. Um, but it's different now. I'm not advocating for violence, but I'll just say that people have gotten far too comfortable with saying things behind a screen that are just utterly disrespectful and completely vile and vicious for no reason to a complete stranger. It just doesn't make sense. But yeah,
You
there
want to know
we go.
another reason? You want to know another reason why you shouldn't do it? Because you see all this stuff up here, it's doing that to me. It's giving me gray hair. So you shouldn't want that for me because I'm starting to look like Kenny Rogers. So if you don't know who Kenny Rogers is, he had a big old gray beard and all gray hair. And that's what social media is doing to me. So save my hair and don't do it. Yeah. I mean, nothing else needs to be said. I like Bonus Baby's comment. I'll say it again. I don't like Idaho. So you won't find me running the streets of Boise screaming Idaho sucks. I just don't go to Idaho. Simple. It really, it really is just that baseline. You don't like it, don't watch. You don't like something to eat, you don't eat it. Like, who the hell? You know what I hate? I hate onions. Hate them. Hate onions. I literally can't. If I put an onion in my mouth, I crunch an onion. I'm like, ugh. I hate onions. I hate the look of them. I hate them. You don't see me eating fried onions because I hate them. So, but then again, I'm not out on social media spouting off on it either. Wow, onions suck. I really hate onions. Onions are terrible. I don't waste my time doing that because you know what? You know what stops me from doing that? Because I think to myself, who the hell is going to care about you saying that you hate onions? I talk myself out of things, not about onions, but that's how I talk myself out of saying something like that because who cares? Who gives a crap what you hate? Who cares? So yeah, it's a good topic, but you see it so often, and I really wish we didn't. I really just, it's just one of those things. Just can't everybody just get along? Can everybody just get along? No, funny enough, clown. I eat Funyuns. I eat Funyuns.
I was about to ask you if you could. Now that's crazy. You know what though?
Crazy.
Funyuns are amazing.
John honestly want to know what it is, Jeff, and I think what it is because my mom used to cook with onions, but my mom knew I couldn't stand them. Whenever you get a cooked onion, and especially if they're white onions, you see they almost look like these little tiny things with lines in them. And I think it was just visual for me. When I would, and then my mom would tell me there were no onions because she wouldn't want to try to, like years ago, like right, even today, if I have spaghetti sauce, I blend it. And I don't just blend it, I massacre it in the blender. So it's chopped up so fine, it's like a smoothie. That's how I eat spaghetti sauce, right? No chunks, no any of that. I grind it all up. My mom used to use jarred ragu to mix with other stuff. And she would tell me, I'd be like, Mom, are there onions in there? No, there's no onions in there. They didn't have those fine choppers back then. They had blenders that were horrible. And I would, when she'd pour my sauce on my spaghetti, I'd sit there and I literally would look. And I would see them because you could see them in those, and I'd see these little line things, and I'm like, Mom, there's an onion. And she'd be like, no, that's burnt flour. I'm like, Mom, I'm not stupid. It's an onion. I'm not eating this now. So, like, but I don't eat onions anymore. And I don't tell people that they shouldn't eat onions. If you like onion, my wife loves onions. You know, but it's the same damn thing, right? It's just funny. Islands in the Stream. Bonus Baby's doing some Kenny Rogers. I prefer The Gambler. The Gambler is probably my favorite song by Kenny. You got to know when to hold them. That one. Yeah. Yeah. My mom listened to him a lot. Like the old saying, misery loves company. Those people are miserable and they don't want to be alone. I have my moments, but I won't spread it to others. That's good. No, but Funyuns I do eat. I eat those Wise onion rings too. But that's because I know. And here's the weird one. Okay, there's two weird ones really quick and we'll go on. One, I will eat Burger King onion rings. I will eat Burger King's onion rings. But see, I think I eat those because they're very finely chopped. They're not like an onion ring you get at a major restaurant where when you eat it, you pull that slimy, line-ridden thing out. So I think that's why. And two, there's a place where I live that has amazing hot dogs. They've been around since like the 1920s. The best hot dogs I've had. They steam the buns. They are good. And they put onions on their hot dogs. I will eat them. They're sweet onions, so they're a little bit different. They're sweet onions, but I will and one more, McDonald's cheeseburgers. The three things in the world I will eat onions on. But I think mostly for me, it's because the McDonald's cheeseburger, while they go in your mouth and you're crunching them, you don't physically ever see them. The same thing with the Burger King onion rings because they're so powdered in there you can't see them. And the hot dog, they are kind of hidden by the chili sauce. So when I put it in my mouth, I just don't look. so, so yes. So there's your answer. I think it was always just visual stuff for me. Very weird. Anywho, let's get back to it. We're
Have
gonna
you
go
ever
right.
tried Sonic's? Have you ever tried Sonic's onion rings?
I have not.
All right,
Are they like
Sonic's
Burger
onion
King's?
rings are a little bit. They're a larger onion ring though, so you might the if you don't like the onion
Yeah,
pulling
no.
out
See,
thing,
if I'm gonna
you
see
might not
that
like.
like white pulley thing come,
Yeah, yeah.
no, nope, nope, nope. When I see when I see somebody eating a bloomin' onion, I want to retch. Like literally, if I see someone eating a bloomin' onion and peeling that stuff, I don't know why that gets to me. I don't know what it is. But when I see them peeling that white, slimy looking thing out with I'm like, oh no, I can't even look. I can't even look. It's the worst, but it has to be something with line things. It's so weird. Celery, I won't eat celery for the same exact reason. Celery has those lines in it. It's got to be something visual, something funky with lines. Maybe my mother made me wear like a weird striped shirt when I was a kid, and maybe I got made fun of with it or something, and now I just hate lines. I don't know, but it's just gotta be something. She was telling me a funny story too when I would make eggs, right? Or when she would make scrambled eggs. She'd fry them up in the pan, and you know how they get those little crusties like on the side of the pan when you fry eggs. You get those little like pieces of crusties. That I would not touch them. I'm like, nope, I'm not eating that. My mom's like, it's just a little bit of burnt eggs. No, I do not want that on my egg. So I'm like, my mom used to say I was a pill. That's what she called me. So, and that's very fair. But yes.
Oh gosh,
Mushrooms.
Derek.
God, no. We could do. Yeah, we're way off base, way off the track. We're gonna go to our favorite moments of the week.
Yeah, Derek, that was
Favorite.
for you.
That was mushrooms. No, absolutely not. They're slimy too.
You're not a
Nope,
mushroom fan either?
not.
Oh
Nope.
man.
No mushrooms. No onions. No celery. None. Nope. 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 All right. It's
Oh
we're moving on. To be honest, I haven't heard the word pill in years. Yeah, my mom used to call me a pill.
yeah.
You're a pill. And yeah, I was a weird kid, man. I was a weird kid. You know what else I wouldn't do? Never go to the bathroom on a black seat toilet. I would not. My dad would drag me to the bathroom, and if I saw a black seat on a toilet, I was deathly afraid of it, and I would not go to the bathroom no matter how bad I had to go.
So you just didn't use the bathroom at school, is what you're telling me.
Nope, I never. Jeff, I can honestly say, I think until my high school year, I never used the toilet in school. Ever. Never.
Wow.
Never used the toilet in school. Never once. Never once. I'm such a weird kid. Imagine that. Weird kid grows into weird adult. Woo! All right. Favorite moments of the week. All right, you know the drill. We're gonna go 3, 2, 1. What were your favorite moments of this week in wrestling? Let us know in the chat. We're gonna start with number 3, and I'm going to Jeff in the chat. Please play along. Jeff, number 3. What is your third favorite moment of this past week in wrestling?
I am so grossly underprepared for this.
Yeah, I didn't watch much this week. I'll be honest.
My number 3, I have to say, I'm gonna give it to LA Knight. LA Knight, like I said earlier, is really a throwback and just a great uh talent performer. I mean, just great, and and his promos are so darn good, just so good. So LA Knight, also the whole thing with Grayson Waller was pretty darn fun. So yeah, LA Knight number 3 for me.
Okay. Oh my gosh. I'm trying to think of Impact. Oh my God, my mind is so shot. My mind is shot now from my job and retail and everything like that, right at this time of the year. I want to go back to Impact because I'm sure there was something on there and that I really enjoyed, and I am just drawing a blank. What was the main event at Impact last week, Jeff? Tell me. Do you remember?
That wasn't that oh, why can't I think of it? Hold on. I got the thing right here. So Alex Shelley and Jonathan Gresham.
Gresham and Shelley. Yes, yes. I'm gonna put that as my number three, and it's weird because I know a lot of people really didn't like it, but I kind of dug it. It was a culmination of some of the stuff that we've seen along the way with Gresham. That was looking like it was going to be a heel turn. We just seen him doing like small little things, dropping small little hints about the fact that it looked as if he was going to do a heel turn, and all through this match, I like Gresham so much because he's a throwback. Gresham is an absolute throwback. And what a way that he did that all throughout the match. He was doing all this different heelish stuff all throughout the match, all the things he could do that could possibly. Now, some people I know were saying, it's over the top, was too much. I liked it because it, again, reminded me of classic wrestling that I used to watch when I was growing up and how the heels would be over the top. That is what they were supposed to do. They were supposed to get you to hate them. And every time they would do something that where it looked like the good guy was going to win, the heel would do an eye rake, or they would do, something behind the referee's back, or and that's what he was doing throughout the whole course of the match. So I liked it. I really thought it was done well. Obviously, Gresham is going to be a heel going forward, and I'm good with it. So I like it too because I think Jonathan needs a little bit of a different thing to do, and I think setting him up as a heel I think is a good move. So that was my number three. Let me see. People in the chat are saying three. Let's see. See, there's another person that never used the toilet in high school. James Grant says the turn of Santos, and Dylan agrees with him. Alexa Bliss Gamer says LA Knight's promo, agrees with Jeff. And Brandon Wayne Lewis says LA Knight. Announcement of Andrade showing up in GCW in December, says Clown. Gresham versus Shelley, says Swag Fan. Gresham versus Shelley, my number one. Trinity's third win against Deanna at Turning Point. That's a good call. LA Knight promo from SmackDown. Bailey saying to Kyrie, Io, and Dakota, I don't hug anymore. Oh, that's a good one. Gresham's amazing. I love his style. I have for years. Number three, Samoa Joe vacates ROH TV title and Santos heel turn. Good stuff. All right, Jeff. What is your number two?
All right, number two for me. I a little bit better prepared this time. So number two for me, I'm gonna stick with Impact. Deonna Purrazzo versus Tasha Steelz. Tasha Steelz picking up the win, and not. I'm gonna bring this up because the internet brought it up. Social media brought it up. I don't know if you saw this, Joe, but there was apparently a fan that was very, very offended by Deanna's twerking.
Oh God, really?
Yeah, he was like, it's not okay for you to tease people like that. You're married.
Good Lord, dude.
But you know what? She was having fun. And because she was having fun, we were having fun. So Deonna Purrazzo and Tasha Steelz, number two. Great match. And, a lot of fun moments. So
it's a prime example of another person being a goof that would complain about that. Like Deonna doesn't always have to be this serious. And most of the time she is. That's her character. But my God, if she steps out of character a little bit, who cares? If she's out there having fun, what's the big deal? It's so stupid. It's so stupid. So my number two, I am going to go because this is something we don't see very often anymore. It used to be done quite a bit, but we don't see it too much. Kevin Owens being the guest ring announcer was kind of cool, and obviously that's because of the birth of the baby. And so he filled in there, but I thought it was good. I thought it's always fun when you have someone else down there. That used to be a regular thing. If you ever watched like Saturday Night's Main Event, a lot of times they would have wrestlers on there. I remember Piper being down at the table. I remember there were times when Hogan was down there. There were times when the big name wrestlers used to do that. And that was a bit of a throwback for me. And Kevin did a great job. You know what, Jeff? I think he's got a future in that. If he wants to do that, I can see him easily stepping into a role like that. because he's just that good of a personality. And then of course he stepped away and destroyed Grayson Waller and so, and of course Austin Theory, but
He got suspended.
and he got suspended. But yeah, I think he did a great job,
Yep.
and I would like to see more of that, where they bring them down, and let's say they're injured or something like that, or a little nicked up, maybe have them do that. Have them come down to the table a little bit, and I know that the tables are usually full. They usually have 3 guys there and stuff like that, but I wouldn't mind them, giving those guys a day off here and there, and rotate a little bit, and have some of the wrestlers come down. I think it's cool. So let's see what we got as number 2s. Number 2, LA Knight promo. Kevin Owens playing with the teleprompter. Alexa Bliss Gamer 0809. LA Knight promo on Grayson Waller, the kangaroo jackass. LOL. J Money Jeff says, "Oh Lord." Number 2, Santos heel turn. My number 2 is Ospreay versus Eddie Edwards. Deanna's married. She's not dead. Judas Priest, go touch some grass. A bonus baby with the comments of the night here. Number 2, KO on commentary, especially the I got to get suspended. I got to go get suspended line. Yeah, it was good. The announcement of War Games. My number 2, Asuka turning on the Queen to join Damage Control to 99% chance setting up a women's War Games match. 2, Fallon Henley versus Tiffany Stratton on NXT. They wrestled like 2 veterans. Good match. All right, man. Number 1. What's your number 1, dude?
My number 1 of the week, and I don't know, Joe might have the same number 1, but my number 1 is the finish to SmackDown and giving the women's wrestlers on SmackDown the spotlight, letting them close out the show, and making this matchup, this breakdown in communication and heel turn or whatever we're calling it for Asuka, because like Joe brought up earlier, I mean, she was technically already doing some heel work, just joining up with the faction at this point. To what extent we don't know, and that's the great thing about it. We don't need to know everything there is to know. We can build slowly. So I really enjoyed the close to SmackDown. I thought it was great. It was different because it wasn't the bloodline. And I think we've grown accustomed to that a little too much. So it was a change of pace. I really liked it.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with you. I said it before. I think it's important. And I get it. Like Jeff said, I get the reasoning behind always having the bloodline on at the end. It's super popular. It was the biggest storyline for months and months and months and months, but it was a nice change. It was a nice change to see. And obviously they hit on it, right? They know that the Kairi Sane storyline is huge. So many people are happy to have her back. So of course they incorporated her in, and everything that's going to go on with that. And of course now, because you're leading into the Survivor Series, it's all going to lead to the War Games matches. And I thought that was very, very brilliantly done, with Asuka turning and taking sides. But like I said, there's a lot more to that story, and that's going to break down big time. We're going to see how that goes. But if I were Bayley, I would be watching my back, because something's coming. And I don't know when it's going to happen, but something's coming. So yeah, I thought that was great. I thought the end of the show was great. Swag fans number 2 is Deanna twerking. Stop the show. A touchdown has been scored. Oh God, Lord. Brandon Wayne Lewis says number 1 is Asuka.
Oh man.
James Grant agrees. Gresham versus Shelley's my number 1, says John. The ending of SmackDown, the 6-woman tag match. Yeah, a lot of people are saying the same thing. Clown says Mark Briscoe having a singles match on Dynamite. Yeah, that was cool. I did manage to see some of that. Yeah, that was cool. It's always good to see Mark out there. Of course, after the tragedy that happened with his brother. So I think they kicked Bayley out. No, yeah, Bayley's in trouble. Yeah, J Money Jeff. Yeah, Bayley's in big trouble at some point. I just don't know when it'll be or how long they'll carry on the storyline for. Gresham versus Shelley, by far Shelley's best match as champion and a match of the year contender for Impact. Asuka, Io Sky factions, Swag fan number 1, Asuka turn on Charlotte and Bianca, Samoa Joe and to MJF after the Devil's Henchman took out the Acclaimed. You're running out of friends, champ. Then that maniacal laugh as Joe walked off. Yeah, it was a cool moment. My number 1 is Adam Pearce pulling a William Regal and announcing War Games. Yes. Yeah, it was pretty cool. Pretty cool. I want to see how Aldous does it, though. It's going to be good. The Black Lotus, Yosuke, Kari Same, and Asuka. Yeah, good stuff. Yeah, I would have to say that was a pretty big moment in more ways than one. Cool, man. Good stuff. I think we have reached the end of our show for the week. Don't forget, please, and I know a lot of you put them in the comments here. Please put them in the comments on the video. So when you are off the show tonight, please go down into the comment section and then write the comments of what did I say? I want match of the year, male and female. And then I want wrestler of the year, male, and wrestler of the year, female. So please put those 4 things down in the comments below so that I can incorporate them into our TIGS Awards. And I will gather all of your data, and then that will be what I will use to put those in there, because it's going to be very hard for me otherwise to calculate, because there are so many that I'm sure I'm going to forget some. So please do that. You got a little homework tonight. Please do that. Put them in the comments, or like I said, I'm probably going to put the question out on Twitter. I might even put it on YouTube as well, so you can comment there if you forget to comment on the video. But just it would be good. Comment on the video. It's good for us to get comments. So please do that. Otherwise, hope you enjoyed the show tonight. I know I did. Everybody got to learn about the fact that I am devastatingly adverse to onions, and the reasoning behind it. Hey, it's all good. All right. Don't forget, guys, we have Abby's Abode tomorrow at 6:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So please make sure you join, of course, Jody and Jeff to find out who wins for the watch along of the slasher film, which will be a lot of fun. Jeff's going to do some cool graphics for that. Be like pop-up video on MTV, just popping up little tidbits here and there. And I'm sure we'll have some commentary and stuff like that on it as well as we go. So come join us. It should be a lot of fun. I will be there as well. And make sure you join us on Impact for Impact this coming Thursday at 7:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Also, come out and see us. That is going to be a great, great show. All right, that's going to do it for us, guys. Have a great rest of your Sunday night or morning, wherever you may be. Again, I'll say it as I do every single show. Please, please, please be kind to one another and stay safe out there. And hopefully we'll see you all again on our next show tomorrow night. Have a good one, guys. Good night, and we'll talk to you soon.